Hello there, my very good friends. On today's wrestling news, are AEW and TNA about to go head-to-head?
WWE's contract negotiation tactics have been revealed.
Omos might be back.
Yes, and what is going on with John Cena's last match? I'm Adam Wilborn.
I'm Andy Murray.
And this is the After News.
You want to talk about AEW and TNA going head-to-head?
Oh boy.
Maybe, possibly, kind of, sort of. That might be happening, baby.
Yeah.
Apparently they're open to the idea. This is a new report from John Alba of The Takedown over at Sports Illustrated. Talking about Carlos Silva, who's the president of TNA. He has been very vocal about, or he's been very willing to talk about TV rights deal negotiations. TNA is currently looking for a new deal. We interviewed him a couple of weeks ago and he said similar. It's like their talks are ongoing.
We talked about them looking for new buyers in the morning news.
Exactly, so check that one out. It's pretty interesting. But John Alba here has some new details stating that Carlos Silva has indicated that TNA, alongside the Creative Arts Agency, they are evaluating the rights and they're looking at an average annual value of about $7 million to $10 million, which would be a significant uptake on TNA's current deal, which is worth $0 million because they own the TV station.
Of course, yes.
Yeah. Anthem, not TNA itself, but Anthem, the parent company, owns the station that they broadcast on. They don't have a rights deal at the moment, really, in the US. Now, Silva had apparently previously told SI and The Takedown that he was hoping things would be wrapped up by October for the Bound for Glory pay-per-view. However, on Wednesday, he indicated to Alba that there's been some recent, because of the recent movement in the deals for WWE, they just got the ESPN deal, and UFC, they just got the Paramount deal. The more conversations are kind of coming up later this month now, which is good. And apparently the TNA president reckons there is positive momentum in these negotiations. Now we're getting on the juicy part here. Independent sources have indicated to John Alba that there have been discussions about TNA moving on to a WWE associated network. So to editorialize that a bit off the top of your head, you would think maybe the CW, which NXT is on.
Of course, yeah.
Or like an NBC Universal property because SmackDown is on USA still.
Yeah.
And all of that stuff. And apparently TNA is even open to the idea of shifting from Thursday to Wednesday and going head to head with AEW Dynamite.
Wednesday Night Wars back on, baby!
Here we go. Now, it's not been indicated to SI that the CW is the specific destination or anything like that. But apparently the CWI, what am I talking about? The CW's interest is legitimate in TNA. And apparently WWE stakeholders would like TNA to be part of that network. So, yeah, I mean, the CW have got to be super interested because NXT is their top rated, if not one of their...
Yeah, it's doing great, guys.
If not one of their top rated, it's either their top or one of the top is what my mealy mouth is trying to say. So, yeah, TNA, AEW head-to-head, what are we thinking?
I lived through one Wednesday Night War and that was enough for me. I've got to be perfectly honest. Look, it's funny, isn't it?
It's quite funny.
All this. But, and like you say, I could see it happening for all the reasons you mentioned. It could just be a purely scheduling reason of just like, actually, we've got something we really like on Thursdays or whatever it might be. You sense, though, with the WWE affiliation and the ongoing stories about WWE counter-programming AEW at every turn, this would be further part of it. I don't see it suddenly, cutting AEW's audience in half, if I'm perfectly honest. And I think it might be detrimental to TNA. I don't know what their weekly viewership is, to be perfectly honest, right now. But it
never gets reported.
Yeah, you sense that going on the same night as another huge wrestling show won't help matters. I'm not an avid week-to-week TNA watcher. I will say I've been watching it more and more after their sort of flits onto NXT television, which makes sense. But I like my schedule as it is. I have, in theory, if I was dedicated enough, you have a wrestling show every night of the week.
Yep. Yeah.
And Saturdays with Collision, of course.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I just like the way it works right now. But I can also understand from a business perspective from WWE, who probably wouldn't care if they only took 10,000 viewers away from AEW.
Sure.
They'd see that as a win because it's like, as long as we can keep chipping away at them and we're not even risking one of our own properties really there.
Yeah.
It's an affiliate more than, like when they put NXT up against it. I could see it happening.
Yeah. It's, in terms of like what impact it might have. I don't know how much crossover there is between AEW's audience and TNA's. I don't know if an AEW fan is going to go, whoa, you mean Impact is on? I have to tune out of Dynamite now. Purely because it's been on, Dynamite's been on Wednesday night since its inception. That is a deeply ingrained viewer habit. That'd be very hard to break.
Think about how they have to mention it when they have to move nights or move times. They hammer it because people are so set up like, Wednesday night's this time.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's a hard battle for TNA. And look, I don't think this is TNA's battle either. The people I feel the most sorry for in all of this, in this tribal warfare that we have in wrestling these days, I feel sorry for TNA fans, honestly, because their promotion by WWE has basically been turned into a tool, a prop in a tribal war between AEW and WWE. It's a betting chip. It's being passed around. It's WWE in this partnership going, we can get you a deal with a network that we're on, but you have to go head-to-head with AEW, by the way.
Cannon fodder, potentially.
Exactly. It sucks. It does suck. Now, we'll see what happens with the reported ownership change that may or may not be happening. We speculated on that this morning. We talked about that on the morning news video. But yeah, I don't see this ending well for TNA, and that really sucks because if you look at some of the positives that promotion's had this year, in particular with their attendances and stuff, that's a win. It sucks that they have to be this chess piece on a board played by someone else.
I'm conflicted because the genuine part of me doesn't really want this to happen because I want everyone to just kind of get along. It's never going to happen, but we can dream. And like you say, I want TNA to keep growing in the way that they have been. But the devil on my shoulder is sat there saying, would be funny. And also, can you imagine that first episode of TNA, what they do? Because they've got some amazing talent in TNA. I'm not denying that. I think they've got some really great individuals, not just the ones that have been kind of scooped up by WWE, but we've seen them. Ace Austin is a name that everyone's talking about, of course, today.
Just on AEW,
So they've clearly got a deep roster there of real talented individuals. But you just know it'd be like, I think it's time for The Undertaker to visit the Impact Zone.
Yeah. What's John Cena doing here? He retired last year. Why is he wrestling?
From WWE. Aha!
I fooled you.
But for you, Moose, I will come back for one more match.
Yeah, it's quality. Yeah. Why not?
It is entertaining to debate, and I'm sure the internet has already had a really balanced debate about this already.
Yeah. Keep that going in the car. We love it, man. Just go nuts. We don't care. Go insane. It's fine. Just don't insult each other, because then I will just mute you from the thing.
Exactly.
Don't be nasty.
One of the other biggest stories, of course, this week, and I spent last night watching that excellent interview with Karrion Kross and Ariel Helwani. And you said this yesterday, and it's been bouncing around my head ever since. I could listen to Karrion Kross read the dictionary. I think he's a fascinating individual. I've got his new book as well. I'm going to try and read that when I'm on tour next week, because I think he's just a phenomenal guy.
Yeah.
But bit of an interesting development with regards to what's going on with the whole WWE contract negotiations. We've talked in the past about, you mentioned Becky Lynch, we didn't we? Becky Lynch, AJ Styles, Karrion Kross. It seems like barely a week can go by without us hearing some more brilliant reporting from the likes of Sean Ross Sapp that so-and-so's Miz was the name we mentioned recently, Dragon Lee and Nick Khan, actually. But with regards to the contract negotiations and as to when the negotiations kind of kick into gear. Dave Meltzer has some interesting things to say on this on Wrestling Observer Radio, saying that if WWE views a talent as marginal, they will go into contract negotiations differently. They'll typically wait until the last minute and make an offer with a short time frame to take it or leave it. That's how Karrion Kross was tweeted. We talked yesterday about how he was given a deal and given 24 hours to decide, and that was, 5 days I think it was, until his contract actually expired, and they even said, we're not even talking to Scarlett until we've dealt with you. However, with regards to a talent that they see as a star within WWE, it's 6 months ahead of time they kick these negotiations into gear. So read into that what you will.
Yeah. Bit of a dirty move, isn't it? Here's a deal, you got 24 hours, take it or leave it.
Yeah.
Seemingly what they did with Cross. If it's not work, who knows? I have no idea at this stage. They know that they hold the power in these negotiations is the thing, and it's brutal, and they'll just exercise that. That's how it works. If I was in that position, I'd feel a bit out of sorts if the boss went, hey, here's the deal. I'm not going to tell you how we came to this number. I'm not going to give you any of our reasoning, but you've got 24 hours. That's tough. That's a very tight window. there. So I can see why a talent who's on the end of that might feel bent out of shape or whatever.
Does this mean that mid-carders get 3 months, by the way? Stars, 6 months.
Yeah.
Marginal talent, few days.
Yeah, 5 days.
Mid-carders, ooh.
Yeah, you're right in the middle.
Yeah.
You're right there in the middle. Yeah, it's interesting because they've locked several people down like a year in advance and stuff like that. Whereas others they've left really last minute. Nick Khan's deal's up this year. What the hell? Maybe they view him as a marginal talent. I don't think so.
Who was it they forgot about the contract? Was it Alistair Black back in the day?
Alistair Black.
Where they were just suddenly like, oh, bollocks, his contract!
Also The Rock.
Yeah.
like 23 years ago as well, which is insane.
See you next week, Dwayne. Nope.
I'm out of here, chief. Yeah, it's crazy. But I don't know. I don't know how. I'm not in the office. I don't know how these businesses work properly. It seems a bit dirty to me.
It is. Yeah. It is a bit over the barrel, isn't it? It's like you say, well, you could take the risk, but who knows what's out there? And you sense that if you are getting offered, like 6 months out, they obviously view you as a star. They obviously have big plans for you. You sense that, well, you'd like to think at least with all the money that they are making hand over fist, that they would try and win you over with a big bump in salary or whatever it may be, or promises of merch or pushes or whatever it might be. I get the feeling that if someone's turning around to you with mere weeks or days even left on your contract, they're not exactly going to be like, right, take it or leave it, we're going to double your salary.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, pretty rough. I wouldn't want to be on the end of that,
no,
for sure. Let's talk now about Omos, our guy. Oh, the big man is...
Love that man.
He might be back, baby. He might be back. So there's a report here from WrestleVotes saying that Omos might show up at AAA's Triple Mania this weekend. Here's the quote. We are told in a follow-up from news a few weeks ago, we can report that Omos' name has once again come up in AAA discussions, with one source mentioning he could very well appear at Triple Mania this weekend. That's pretty exciting. So there's loads of WWE people on this card, obviously, because WWE owns it now. But the main event is Mega Campeón El Hijo del Vikingo versus Grande Americano versus Dragon Lee and Dom.
Come on, Dom. Come on, Dom.
Los Garza, they're defending their tag titles.
Of course, yeah.
And there's a big match with Natalia in there. Lola Vice is on the card. The Judgment Day have a trio there as well.
Yeah, they do, don't they? Yeah.
So big time WWE presence on the show. WWE has not used Omos in ages, well over a year. Maybe longer. I don't know. A long ass time. We most recently saw him in Noah in Japan.
We most recently saw him.
Well, we saw him in Las Vegas and gave him a big hug. It was awesome. I love that guy. Lovely man. Very nice.
Check out my interview with him from WhatCulture Mania. He towers over me and I'm 6'3".
I like the shot of him putting you in a headlock.
Oh.
Awesome. But yeah, we've not seen him in ages. Like, earlier this year in Noah, he was the GHC Tag Team Champion with Jack Morris. That lasted about a month. He was
doing good stuff, wasn't he?
He was. It was fun. Like, I love giant wrestlers.
Yeah.
Like, massive tall people. Let's kick some ass. I love Omos. I love Satnam Singh. I used to love the Big Show back in the day. Like, give me the tall lads. I love that stuff. Him in AAA is really fun. Hanging out with a bunch of luchadors flying all around him. He's punching them out of the sky and stuff. That could be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was surreal, wasn't it? Because he was doing that stuff in Noah, and we heard good word coming from that. And then he got brought back, and everyone was like, "Oh, cool! He's presumably going to be involved in and around Rumble or WrestleMania or whatever it was in the time period it was." He certainly felt like, "Oh, well, you wouldn't cut that short to just shove him in catering," and yet here we are. However, we have sort of contradicted ourselves here. I will say that, Andy. Some pretty poor reporting from two of the biggest journalists in the game. Because we said we haven't seen Omos for a long time. We said he might be involved in Triple Mania. And then you said El Grande Americano's on the card. And my theory is that man is El Grande Americano.
All right.
So prove me wrong.
All right, WrestleMania. I think that's their theory, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know.
But yeah, honestly, I know our bias is showing, but I only hope for the best for that man.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely up there with like Big E as one of the nicest men I've ever met in wrestling.
Yeah, he's an absolute gentleman.
Could have squashed my head.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, lovely bloke, and he's on Miller's Ups and Downs as well. It's worth checking that out from WrestleMania weekend. top man. Hope all the best for him, and it could be really fun. Like
yeah,
you say.
I'd really enjoy that. I'd really enjoy Omos versus 7 luchadors.
Yes.
That'd be sick.
I'll tell you who else is a nice man. Now again, at least, before he was bullying children previously. John Cena. Lots of speculation regarding his last match. Me and Sidgwick actually debated this on a podcast yesterday. It's going to be going out in the next few days. WhatCulture Wrestling Podcast, where we get a podcast from, as to who he should face potentially in his last match. But there has been a rumour doing the rounds. You sense off the back of the reports regarding WWE putting on a PLE to go against All Out, which features John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. But now, the latest rumour was they are going to shift what was John Cena, the date of John Cena's last match, to put it head-to-head against World's End, not Worlds Collide, as I said earlier, as another sort of counter-programming tactic. I'm quite pleased to report this, according to WrestleVotes, that apparently John Cena's last match is not going to be going head-to-head with an AEW show. It is sticking to December 13th, courtesy of NBC. The plan was to move it a couple of weeks after the December 27th, but no, they're sticking to December 13th. One would assume for some sort of Saturday night's main event, but maybe they put on a big sort of PLA-adjacent show in December, which is rare for WWE, but I'd like to see it. The network apparently has an NFL commitment on the night of the 27th of December, and doesn't want to compete with its own programming. I think this is the best for everybody.
Yeah, I agree. I think if I'm John Cena, right, and I learned that they were thinking of using my retirement match as a chip in this war with AEW to undermine Worlds, I'd be annoyed.
Yeah.
I'd be annoyed. I'm like, no, let me stand on my own. Not like I don't think the AEW pay-per-view would take business away from John Cena, for goodness sake. It's John Cena. But I'd be like, no, let me stand on my own.
Yeah, give him his moment without any other noise.
Exactly. Let me have this night. I don't want to be part of your petty little war. I'd be thinking that if I was John Cena. I don't know if John Cena's actually thinking that. But they don't want to compete with the NFL, so fair.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm glad about this.
Good.
I will also say the other reason why I agree that if I was John Cena, I'd say, no, stick to that date, is because if my last match is December 13th as opposed to December 27th, Christmas is a feeding frenzy, baby.
Yeah,
it's one of the main reasons I never became a professional footballer.
Yeah.
Because they play on Boxing Day.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, that is the day for not moving around.
I think it's the number one reason, actually.
Oh.
Yeah, it's the biggest one.
Look, don't get me wrong, love summer. Summer's my favourite season. Despite this, right, love it. Despite sweating when I move everywhere in the last few days at Gateshead. But, oh my God, not the weather, it's horrible. But when it gets around to Christmas, you can put big jumps on and eat whatever you want. It's the best, isn't
Unbelievable.
it?
Yeah, I love Christmas. Summer's the best, you're right, but Christmas is...
Saw some Halloween decorations in the shop the other day.
What?
Kids haven't gone back to school yet. What's going on?
It's not even September. What the hell's going on?
We were trying to find some summer stuff for Eric's birthday this weekend, and the shops were like, no, we finished selling that.
Oh, pumpkins.
It's August. What are we doing?
Do you want some pumpkins, brother?
Yeah.
Sure.
So he's having a pumpkin-themed birthday, apparently.
Yeah, that song. It's the flipping skeletons coming down your stairs. They live in your bum and they're gonna kill your mum.
That's the song.
That's the one.
Sing it.
Watch out for the skeletons, man. They're brutal. Anyway, this
what isn't brutal.
This ending is brutal. Best video is on your screen. It's the best video ever.
It's the best video.
It's the best one. Best one on the internet.
Give it a click.
It's never been. It won the Oscar, man. Get it in.
Bye.
Bye.